Let's look at this problem here and see how fast we can go. It says WXYZ is a rectangle. Find each measure if measure of angle 1 is 30. So we can find every single angle measure. So here we go. Put your angle measure of 30 there. And we know that it's a rectangle. So this is a parallel line with a transversal, which means this is 30, this is 30. We know that there are 4 right angles, 60, 60. Those are also alternate interior angles. Okay, so now we get to the part where we have to figure out, okay, I know other things are 60 and 30, but I also know I have triangles that are congruent, because if you go back to your chart, in a rectangle, the diagonals bisect each other and the diagonals are congruent. So I know that I have this case right here where the diagonals all cut each other in half and they're also congruent, which means I have isosceles triangles, which makes this 60 and this 60. Leaves me left over with 30 and 30. The last part is figuring out these inside. Well, the diagonals are not perpendicular in the middle, but if I have these triangles where I know 2 of the 3 angles, I can find the other one. So 30 plus 30 is 60. 180 minus 60 is 120. That means this is 120 because they're vertical angles. And this is 60, and this is 60. So actually I have equilateral triangles in there. That doesn't matter, but you can go back and answer every one of those questions just by making that picture. The second problem that we're going to look at here is using algebra within geometry. So find xy so that each quadrilateral is a parallelogram. So parallelograms have equal or congruent opposite sides and opposite angles, and you also have consecutive angles are supplementary because they're parallel lines. So if you look up here on this picture, we want to figure out how we're going to set an equation up. Well, opposite angles are congruent, or consecutive angles are supplementary. Well, if I do my opposite angles congruent, I can set 6y minus 57 equal to 3y plus 36, and 3x plus 9 equals 5x minus 19. Still follows our geometry rule of stuff's usually either congruent or it's equal. In this case, they're congruent. For solving, don't get sloppy with your solving. Add 57. So 3y equals 93, y equals 31. Over here, you like to keep things on the left. Subtract 9. X equals 14. So let's see if our answers make sense. If I plug in on my picture, I'm going to redraw the picture up there. If I plug in x equals 14, 3 times 14 plus 9, that's 42 plus 9, which is 51. And I plug y equals 31 up here. 6 times 31 minus 57. You might want to use a calculator for that. 186 minus 57, that's 129. Those two should add up to 180. Then the opposite one should be equal. So go to the opposite one. 5x minus 19, and x is 14. So 5 times 14 minus 19. That's 70 minus 19, which is 51. And then checking this corner, I think we're probably pretty good. 3 times 31 plus 36, that's 93 plus 36. 129. So you have the relationship always of any two consecutive angles are supplementary in a parallelogram and opposite angles are congruent. Second question says make this a parallelogram. Well, we said they have opposite sides congruent, opposite angles congruent. This one we're going to use the opposite sides. So 2x minus 4 equals x plus 4, and 3y minus 2 equals 4y minus 8. And solve both of those equations. Fairly straightforward solving. X equals 8. So that would make 2 times 4 is, or 2 times 8, 16 minus 4 is 12. 8 plus 4 is 12, so those would be 12. Subtract 4y. Add 2. Y equals 6. 4 times 6 is 24. 24 minus 8 is 16. 3 times 6 is 18. 18 minus 2 is 16. Opposite sides congruent.